So this is the second time that Pedro Pascal would take care of an orphan creature. This is the way. Hey movie buffs, I'm Jack Benner and welcome to my review of The Wild Robot. The Wild Robot is a new sci-fi animated film from DreamWorks Animation based off the book series of the same name by Peter Brown. This film is directed by Chris Sanders and this film stars Lupita Nyong'o, Pedro Pascal, and many others. In The Wild Robot, we follow our protagonist, a robot named Razum, or Roz for short, voiced by Lupita Nyong'o, who is shipwrecked on an uninhabitable island. While she's adapting to nature, she becomes the adoptive mother of an orphan gosling. Before I get into my review of The Wild Robot, any new viewers coming across my channel for the first time, welcome to my channel. I am Jack Benner. I talk about movies on here. I do movie reviews. From time to time, I do some lists on here. So you like movie content? You like what you see so far? Definitely considering that like and subscribe button for more exciting movie content down the road. I just want to say that I never read the book series of The Wild Robot this film is based on. Although for those who did, I am very interested to hear your assessment on the film and the book, if you thought this was a faithful adaptation or not. But when I saw that first trailer, I was immediately hooked. From the beautiful looking animation, minimal dialogue, great voice cast, and it did kind of give me the vibe of DreamWorks' version of The Iron Giant. And also, this film being directed by Chris Sanders, who was a co-director on the first How to Train Your Dragon, got me excited. And he also directed Lilo and Stitch, which I also love. The Croods, good DreamWorks movie. And that first teaser trailer with the robotic version of What a Wonderful World, which, fun fact, was sung by Lupita Nyong'o herself. Hollywood, cast her in a musical already, please. I can tell from that trailer she has a great singing voice. And that first trailer was one of the best DreamWorks Animation trailers I have ever seen. And the second trailer after that also got me excited and was great as well. I felt like this had a lot of potential to be one of DreamWorks' most emotional and entertaining films yet, thus becoming my most anticipated animated film for the rest of the year. Although DreamWorks can be hit and miss, when they make great films, they knock it out of the park, such as Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2, Shrek 1 and 2, the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Chicken Run, The Prince of Egypt, Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, and so many great ones. But then other times, we would get misses from them, such as Shark Tale, Shrek the Third, Turbo, The Boss Baby. After being let down by Kung Fu Panda 4 earlier this year, I was really hoping this would be an improvement for DreamWorks this year, if we don't count that Megamind sequel, which I heard was abysmal and that animation looked cheap. Excitement grew when I heard rave reviews from the Toronto International Film Festival praising this movie, and other early reviews are saying it's one of DreamWorks' best films, if not their best film, and it is one of the highest rated DreamWorks movies on Rotten Tomatoes, up there with the first How to Train Your Dragon. I saw The Wild Robot opening weekend, excited. Could this be one of DreamWorks' best films? Let me just say this right now, The Wild Robot is hands down the best animated film of the year, topping Inside Out 2 and Transformers 1. The Wild Robot is a visually stunning and emotionally poignant film from DreamWorks Animations that's definitely one of their top 10 best movies. Not only that, it is one of the best films I have seen this year. Let's start with the pros. First thing to praise, easily, the animation in this movie is simply breathtaking. It's always exciting to see DreamWorks take a break from traditional CG animation to experiment with new styles and aesthetics and utilize them to their full advantage. Other examples in the past 2 years, such as The Bad Guys and especially Puss in Boots: The Last Wish being one of the most stylish films. Here, The Wild Robot takes inspiration from both classic Disney movies and the work of Hayao Miyazaki, the result being one of DreamWorks' most visually stunning films to date. There were many times in this movie where my jaw dropped just from seeing the pure beauty on screen. From how colorful, vibrant, detailed, and immaculate it is to admire, from the naturistic wildlife, beautiful cinematography, and different seasons as the film goes on. And the paintbrush aesthetic used in this film is beautiful, making it distinct from other DreamWorks Animation movies. Next, the voice cast in this movie is great all around and fit their roles excellently and don't feel distracting one bit. Lupita Nyong'o is fantastic as Roz, crafting a likable and lovable protagonist to get behind from the start. At first, Roz is trying to adapt to nature like a fish out of water, attempting to be a service robot to these animals, but things don't go according to plan and are actually terrified of Roz and see her as a monster. But once she becomes an adoptive mother to Brightbill, she actually starts to become less robotic and develop more emotions. And that's one of the things Nyong'o does a great job with her vocal performance. Pedro Pascal voices a fox named Fink, whom Roz befriends, and he greatly adds so much charm, heart, and humor into his role. And can we talk about how much Pedro Pascal is killing it right now? This movie, and he's got Gladiator 2 coming out this November, and he is booked with the Fantastic Four First Steps, playing Reed Richards, The Mandalorian and Grogu, Last of Us Season 2. Pedro Pascal, I think he's a terrific actor, and I always love seeing him in anything, even Wonder Woman 1984, despite I hated that movie. And I also want to give mention to Kit Connor as an older Brightbill, at first being the oddball goose, definitely feeling like an outcast given that he was raised by Roz. But he does a great job selling his conflict when he discovers the truth about what Roz did to his family, and it's quite heartbreaking. And other good actors in the voice cast: Catherine O'Hara voices a mother opossum, Mark Hamill voices a bear, Stephanie Hsu plays a villain in this film, and when I first heard her voice, I was like, that's Joy from Everything Everywhere All at Once, isn't it? And I was like, yep, that's her. And there were even some other voice actors I didn't know were in this movie. Bill Nighy voices a goose, and when I heard his voice, I was like, that's Davy Jones, isn't it? Yep, that's him. Do you fear death? And another one, Ving Rhames voices an eagle, and I didn't know he was in this movie. And when I heard his voice, I was like, wait, that voice sounds familiar. Is that Ving Rhames? And then in the end credits, I saw his name. I was like, oh my god, it is Ving Rhames. I didn't know he was in this movie. The Wild Robot is also a very funny film. It's got great humor that kids and adults will enjoy. It's got funny humors for kids without feeling like sophomoric, no like fart jokes or anything. And for the adults, there is actually some dark humor in this movie. Just one scene with baby opossums, that was quite unexpected. That scene had me laughing, just, oh my god. What elevates The Wild Robot as truly noteworthy is the emotional core at its center. And the emotional core of the film is definitely between Roz and Brightbill. Seeing that unexpected bond develop over time was really heartwarming, and seeing it grow with the ups and downs, it was really engaging and investing to see. And I would never expect a DreamWorks movie to care about a bond between a robot and a gosling, but it did. And it also tackles great themes such as parenthood, love, loss, and a robot and two other animals feeling like outcasts, forming a touching bond. And I also admired that this movie wasn't afraid to get into serious territory. It was like, yeah, we can be funny, but we're also going to have mature moments as well that can emotionally resonate to everyone watching this movie. And the arcs in this movie feel well earned and satisfying. The emotional scenes do hit the right notes. And I didn't cry in this movie, but I have a feeling if I watch this movie again, maybe there's a chance I might. And this is another DreamWorks movie since Kung Fu Panda 2 and the How to Train Your Dragon sequels. They do have some tearjerker scenes in this film, so before you go see The Wild Robot, bring the tissues. Another thing I want to shout out, Chris Bauer's score here is fantastic. It is both so beautiful and touching, and there's even one particular score that gave me goosebumps. And it's one of the best scores I have heard this year, and I would love for it to get an Oscar nomination for Best Original Score. As for issues or nitpicks with this film, I suppose my only minor criticism I have with this movie is it does get a bit predictable at times. You can't tell where the story is going and what's going to happen here. To sum up, The Wild Robot is hands down the best animated film of 2024, and certainly one of the top 10 best films DreamWorks Animation has ever done. From its gorgeous animation, great voice cast, emotional musical score, and powerful emotional core. I would highly recommend this movie if you were interested by the trailers. Definitely go see this movie, or if you're fans of DreamWorks Animation's filmography, definitely go see this movie, as it is one of their best films. And I would highly recommend this movie to all animation fans. Whether you want to be an aspiring animator or looking to study the craft, go see The Wild Robot. It's a must-see. As much as I love films like Inside Out 2 and Transformers 1 that were funny and emotional, this film has topped both of those for the best animated film of the year and gave me everything I was hoping for. And after loving How to Train Your Dragon and The Wild Robot, if Chris Sanders is directing another film at DreamWorks Animation, I will be there immediately. And now to grade it, I'm going to give The Wild Robot 4.5 stars out of 5. And A, believe the hype on this one. It's a fantastic movie. Kids, adults, families are going to love this movie and emotionally resonate with it. In September, we had 2 animated films back-to-back weeks, this and Transformers 1. Although I'm really disappointed that Transformers 1 is underperforming at the box office, that is a great movie and way better than the trailers made it out to be. But luckily, what I've been hearing, The Wild Robot grossed $35 million on its opening weekend on a $75 million budget. Impressive opening weekend for that. And I hope in the subsequent weeks that word of mouth can help this movie make more money at the box office and become a financial success. And as for DreamWorks films of the 2020s decade, I've only seen 4 so far. Definitely better than Kung Fu Panda 4, that's for sure. That movie really let me down. The Bad Guys I enjoyed, and this and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish are the best DreamWorks films of the 2020s decade so far. And with those 2 great films, I really hope we get more great films from DreamWorks in the 2020s decade. And with their next film, another book adaptation, Dogman, which I saw the trailer in front of The Wild Robot, that actually could be quite funny, so I'm looking forward to that, and I've never read the book. I do know it's the same author as Captain Underpants, which I enjoyed that movie. Hopefully I'll enjoy that film next year. 2 questions. 1, does it deserve to win the Oscar for Best Animated Film? When the trailer came out, I was speculating that it could be the frontrunner for Best Animated Film. Now having seen the movie and the rave reviews and people are loving this movie, absolutely. And I'm looking forward to other animated films this year, such as Moana 2, which I am optimistic for. The new Wallace and Gromit movie on Netflix this year, I'm looking forward to that. And the Lord of the Rings anime movie, The War of the Rohirrim, looks awesome. So there are promising animated films coming out, but I think The Wild Robot has the Best Animated Film Oscar in the bag. And the only animated films to win the Oscar for Best Animated Film are the first Shrek and Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. And other DreamWorks films I think should have won the Best Animated Film Oscar: Kung Fu Panda 2, How to Train Your Dragon 2 and 3. So it's definitely been a long time since DreamWorks Animation has won an Oscar for Best Animated Film, and I think this could be it. And other Oscar chances, 1 for Best Original Song. There is a song in the middle of the movie where Roz is teaching Bright Bill how to fly, and hearing this song during the movie, I was like, maybe this could get nominated, so that's a maybe. At Best Original Score, I really hope that happens. And hopefully in the past 2 years after Encanto got a Best Original Score nomination, which was cool, but after that, other animated films that deserve Original Score nomination, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and The Boy and a Heron deserved Original Score nominations, but somehow got snubbed. So I really hope if this gets nominated, maybe that could make up for it. And last, where does this film rank in my DreamWorks Animation ranking? It is somewhere in the top 10. I would probably place it at number 8 for right now. It is right between Puss in Boots: The Last Wish at number 7 and Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit at number 9. So that is where The Wild Robot stays in my DreamWorks ranking, and I'm curious to hear your DreamWorks Animation ranking with The Wild Robot. So I would like to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of The Wild Robot? If you've seen it, do you agree? Disagree with my review? Or if you haven't seen it, are you interested in seeing the film or not? Let me know down below. Did you enjoy hearing my thoughts on this movie? I want to see more reviews like this in the future. If yes, please hit that like and subscribe button if you're new here, and don't forget that notification bell for my next upload in the future. It really means a lot. My social media links are in the description down below. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you would like to see my written reviews, I do have a Letterboxd account, so if you'd like to follow me on there as well. And until the next video, I'm Jack Benner, and look forward to another movie review.